I believe that all of us have a unique story, and sharing that story, life experience, knowledge, and passion can be an extremely fulfilling and lucrative career if we know how to package and position it correctly. My story began when I was in college, and where my entire life I've been told that in order to succeed in life, it's first to get good grades in school, study hard, so that one day I can get into a good college, good university, so that lands me a good job, a steady job, to save more money, spend less money, and most of this advice came from my parents. My father is one of the most hardworking people in the world that I know of. For 13 years, he worked on 2 jobs. On his 9-to-5 job with the government, and after his 9-to-5 job, he would work on a farm. My father is a farmer. And every single year, my dad would bring my brother and I to the same exact spot in the farm to take a picture, and he would make us hold up this white signboard that shows how old the farm is. These were the first 10 years growing up on the farm. So that was my background, growing up in that sort of mindset where success is only achieved through blood, sweat, and tears, through hard work. And when I was in college, I've been doing well my entire life, and I was finally offered to study in Warwick University, where I got a scholarship from the government of Malaysia. And to cut a really long story short, because of a lot of good times, parties, I nearly flunked out of university. I got a 42% average, and out of the 3 years, I spent a total of 8 hours attending lectures. And that was because my entire life I've done well in school, and I thought college and university was not going to be any different. Finally, when I went back home, that was when reality hit. I realized that all these companies that once headhunted me didn't want to hire me anymore because they were all judging me based on the piece of paper, the results that I got from university. And this time the government said that I didn't fulfill the condition that I had with the scholarship, and they wanted me to pay back every single dollar, which was 53,000 US dollars. Money which I didn't have, money which my parents obviously didn't have. And because of that, here's the funny thing, I was so conditioned to believe that if I didn't do well in school and get good grades, this is the price I have to pay for the rest of my life. And my first job that paid me about 900 ringgit, that's about 300 US dollars a month, I worked on this job for nearly 2 years. And after a year, I remember I was having a shower and the water's coming down, but I wasn't really showering. I was just thinking and reflecting about life. I was thinking, how did I manage to screw up this badly in life? I had everything going on for me. I was a scholar, I was a straight A student. I had all these big companies, they were all lining up waiting to headhunt me, to hire me as soon as I got out from university. And just because of one mistake and one screw up in my life, this is the price I have to pay. And that was when I realized I had to do something different. That was when I went online, I typed in how to make money online. And out of buying all these different programs, home study courses, they seemed to have one thing in common. And that was to make money online, you first need to sell a product. I didn't think I had a strength, so I created this 30-page guide on how to play this computer game World of Warcraft, which is one of the reasons why I nearly failed university. I played this game for over 1,000 hours, and I didn't think it would sell well. I put it up online for just $7, and within 9 months, I made my first sale, and many months after that, the sale from my online product was 3 times more than my full-time job's pay. Granted, which wasn't very hard to do because my full-time job didn't pay me a lot of money, but that was when I took what I did from World of Warcraft, I scaled it up into many other niche markets, in Forex, in gardening, in teeth whitening, in how to quit smoking. Up to today, we run close to about 600 different websites. In 2010, there was this really big game called Farmville. We were the first to market this guide called Farmville Secrets. And Farmville Secrets did over 1.3 million US dollars in under 7 months. And since then, I started teaching people this strategy on how to take your knowledge and transform that knowledge into a product that's monetizable on the internet. And I started doing this across the world and teaching this to tens and thousands of people and sharing the stage. I've been blessed to share the stage with people like Sir Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, Brendon Burchard, Les Brown, Robert Kiyosaki, the biggest names in the world. And I would have never thought that was even possible. I believe that our past struggles, failures, and circumstances does not dictate what the future holds for us. Because when life knocks you down, have the courage to stand back up. Because if you can stand back up, you can start dreaming again. If I were to look back at my life right now, I realize that I would have two very different lives. In a parallel universe, there would be the life that I'm living right now and the life where everything was on track, where I was supposed to do what I was supposed to do, which was to get good grades, fulfill the condition of my scholarship, work in a really good company, a big company. And I realized that if all of that happened, I would have never been able to do what I'm doing today. So in other words, looking back, I would have never traded my darkest moments, the lowest points in my life, for anything else, because those were life's biggest lessons. And what if the biggest problems in our life were really a gift? And I know that sometimes people might hate me for saying this, but I'd like you to think about how has the biggest problems in your life shaped you to who you are today? How has it enabled you to become a bigger person, a better person, a wiser person? Maybe it taught you to appreciate health more. Or maybe it taught you to appreciate that life is truly finite and that it could end at any time. In other words, the biggest problems in our lives can either shape us up or it can tear us down, and that is a choice. I believe in the power of your story, and it is my job to help you take that story, passion, life experience, and knowledge and package and position it as a product that's monetizable online. And it is my job to help you find that voice, that message that is true to you, that is authentic to you, and to share it with the world. It's your time.